understanding. And at the end, he has told that in doing whatever you have done till now towards the Yakshas, you have agitated a great personality, Kuvera. So after that, then Kuvera also comes. When he returns, after Swayambhanu has returned, then Kuvera instructs and benedicts Dhruv Maharaj. That is 1 to 9 verse. And then 10 to 16, we have 10 to 16, Dhruva's glorious rule and renunciation. 17 to 35, Dhruv Maharaj ascends to Dhruvaloka. 36 to 40 is glories of Dhruvaloka. 41 to 43 is Narad Muni glorifies Dhruva at the Pracheta's sacrifice. And 44 to 52 is Falashruti. So when I was trying to prepare, I thought maybe this Falashruti section can go fast. But Prabhupada's purports are very nice, so we can't go fast. So I think whatever will of the Lord will be. Maybe somewhere I will summarize the purports. Let's see. So now we are studying first text 1 to 9, Kuvera's instructions and benedictions to Dhruva. We'll not recite all the shlokas, but for invocating auspiciousness, let's begin with first. Maitreya uvacha dhruvam nivittam pratibuddha vaishashad apetamid manyum bhagavan dhaneshwara tatra gatascharana yaksha kinnarai stamstuyamano nyavadat kritanjalim. Mike? Okay, you set up the mic till then. You have it?
The great sage Maitreya said, "My dear Vidura, Dhruva Maharaj's anger subsided and he completely ceased killing yakshas. When Kuvera, the most blessed master of the treasury, learned this news, he appeared before Dhruva. While being worshipped by yakshas, kinnaras, and chanaras, he spoke to Dhruva Maharaj, who stood before him with folded hands."
And close this door, otherwise there will be interference. So this is a very positive interference. 2-3 Bhagavatam class interference. But no problem. We have to hear one only. Sometimes in bathroom there are 3 classes going on of same personality, So you have to understand 3. You should have the Achintya Shakti to understand them. Okay. So Dhruva Maharaj's anger has subsided. And he completely ceased to kill yakshas. Kuvera became very pleased and he has descended. Dhanada uvacha. Dhanada means one who gives dhana. Kuvera. Dhanada uvacha bhobo kshatriya dayada paritushto te naga yatvam pitamaha deshat vairam dustajamatyaja.
The master of the treasury, Kuvera, said, "O sinless son of a Kshatriya, I am very glad to know that under the instruction of your grandfather, you have given up your enmity, although it is very difficult to avoid. I am very pleased with you."
So some of the nice words are tushto, paritushto smi. You can, in Bhagavatam, you will see tushtoham, tushtoham. This comes very regularly, different places. Tushtoham, I am very pleased, I am very happy with you. So we should try to, one time I did a collection of all the tushtoham verses. What has pleased the Vaishnavas, So that can be a good consideration of what all we should do devotion service in a very nice way. So paritushto asmi and pitamaha adeshat, on the order of your pitamaha, your grandfather Swayambhanu, you accepted to vairam dustajam atyaja. Although it is very difficult to give up, but you have given it up. Vaira, animosity towards another living entity. Sometimes even Guru says, please give up the animosity towards this other Vaishnava, but the living entity is very adamant. The scripts of animosity go very deep into the heart and the person becomes so badly affected that the living entity cannot, he says, Golok jaunga lekin isko nahi hona chahiye. This guy should not be there in the Golok Vrindavan. So we have given up animosity. And then he's giving a word called anaga. Anaga means sinless. Aga means sinful. Aghasur. Aghasur मतलब जिसका जीवन ही अघा है नाम भी कैसे कैसे देते हैं ना, मतलब अमेजिंग है. उनके मम्मी पापा को अच्छा लगता होगा अघासुर, वाह पाप ही का पाप है, हाँ ना, मतलब नाम भी अघासुर रखा तो रख, नाम रखना है तो कुछ ढंग का रखो, उसके बाद गलत कार्य करे तो बात अलग है, लेकिन नाम ही अघासुर है। एनीवे, सो अनगा मीन्स sinless. So now next verse he says, Na bhavan avadit yakshan na yaksha bhrartaram tava kala eva hi bhutanam prabhur apyaya bhavayo. Na bhavan avadit yakshan. You have not done the word of the yakshas. Na bhavan means apne. So he is giving a respectful address to
Dhruv Maharaj.
Dhruv Maharaj. Bhavan. See, tvam means tum and bhavan means aap. You know. तो न भवान अवधीत यक्षान, आपने यक्षों का वध नहीं किया। न यक्ष भ्रातरम तव, लाइक, और आपके भाई का वध यक्षों ने भी नहीं किया है। फिर क्या हुआ? काल एव ही भूतानाम, ओनली द काल रूप ऑफ द लॉर्ड प्रभु, प्रभु ऑल्सो इज टोल्ड, प्रभु मीन्स द लॉर्ड्स फॉर्म इन फॉर्म ऑफ काला, दैट इज ओनली कॉज ऑफ द एनाइलेशन एंड जनरेशन। रीड।
Actually, you have not killed the yakshas, nor have they killed your brother. For the ultimate cause of generation and annihilation is the eternal time feature of the Supreme Lord. When the master of treasury addressed him as sinless, Dhruv Maharaj, considering himself responsible for killing so many yakshas, might have thought to himself otherwise.
Previous verse he said anaga, but Dhruva must be thinking, "Arey, I killed so many yakshas, and it was not proper from my side. So I am not anaga, I am aga." So Kuvera is clarifying. Read.
Kuvera, however, assured him that factually he had not killed any of the yakshas. Therefore, he was not at all sinful. He did his duty as a king, as it is ordered by the laws of nature. Nor should you think that your brother was killed by the yakshas, said Kuvera. He died or was killed in due course of time by the laws of nature. Eternal time, one of the features of the Lord, is ultimately responsible for annihilation and generation. You are not responsible for such actions.
So now how do you understand? See, just some time back, Swayambhav Manu has said that you have done Ati Rosh, for killing one yaksha, you have killed so many. So that means he has done sin, na? He has done something wrong. He's correcting him on that. He may have corrected in a nice way, but he was correcting him. And so, stop it, alam. No? And now Kuvera is saying that actually they have died by the arrangement of the Lord, time factor. So what has happened? Has Dhruva done a wrong thing or not done the wrong thing? And Kuvera is saying like this, is it like some sweet talk? Huh? What is it? Politely just, putting it under the carpet. अभी भूल जाओ, क्या हो गया तो हो गया, छोड़ो. No. So what is the idea? Anyone? All the sages of Naimi Sharanya?
That may be wrong that time, but like right now, when it comes to, it depends on who is the person, because there he was like a superior person to Dhruva, his grandfather only, and here it is the father of his own sons. So from his side, he is taking it in this way. From his father's side, he had to correct, grandfather's side, he has to correct him in that way. So one has to take it for in any situation how it is Lord's hand is there, and it was his responsibility as a grandfather to correct him. So both way we can understand.
Yeah, very good. Very nice. This is one important point. So one should see who is talking. Like if Dhruv Maharaj says like, I had not done any mistake. It was anyway the karmic reaction or time factor. So then it will be wrong. Like one time one team was going from South India to Vrindavan, So then on the way, what happened in the train, the rats ate away the prasadam. The prasadi, that devotee manager Prabhu, he kept it below the seat. And all the rats came and ate they chew into the prasadam, and now prasadam cannot be honored. So then he said, Prabhu, I think we have to take it as the will of the Lord, So, so all the devotees pounced on him. Hey, Haribol, if we say like that, that is okay. But if you say like that, how is it okay? No? See, he's the manager. He should think, okay, let me get at least some bananas for the devotees from the station. Sorry, Prabhu, you have to fast because of me. Let me arrange from some another station. He's only saying, it is the will of the Lord. I think we don't have to eat anything. So the person who has that service, he cannot take the tour of putting it on the कि हमारा reaction आ गया, you know. If they say like that, it's another thing. Like Kamsa did this, you know, when he killed all the 6 sons, and the 7th son was Garbhapat only. Malab, it was like, what do you call, you know, what do you call it? Like Balramji. And then 8th son did not come out to be son. Durga came out, and then he said, see, everything happens by the karma only. Devaki and Vasudev, everything is happening by the providence. So these days demigods also speak lies. Because Durga has come out, no? You were thinking sun will come out, Durga came out, you know. So demigods also started speaking lies. And he is giving his own purport about how Daiva is the cause. So he cannot say Daiva is the cause. Who can say? Vasudev Devaki can say. He should say, I have done a mistake. No? So taking responsibility of one's mistake is also proper dharma. And while we are dealing with another person who has been the immediate cause of our suffering, then to see the hand of our karma, instead of blaming the instrument of our karma, is the dharma of the other person. Are you getting? Both parties have to do their dharma. Not that we try to remind the other person of what he has not done and his dharma. And when, as he rightly said, so Manu was reminding, because he's supposed to take that role of, because he is superior, he should guide him. So to guide the subordinate about some improper dharma is also important. Another important point is pre-event analysis and post-event analysis. Before the event, one can calculate what is one's duty in this situation. After someone is killed, so one can take responsibility if he has done wrong. But when Kuvera is saying that they have been killed by, so it is actually, what do you think? Okay, see, Atirosh happened. So he did something wrong. So can Dhruv Maharaj doing something wrong be the cause of the suffering of the Yakshas? No. That means what? If we say that someone else can actually do something wrong which can cause me suffering, that means I don't know the law of karma. No? I cannot get any farthing of suffering also because of someone else's injustice on me or doing something in the modes. You know, it is my own karma which has come to me. You know, so yakshas going, they dying is within the karmic situation, within the time factor of the Lord. But Dhruv Maharaj should not become the instrument to do so. If it is not appropriate to kill them according to his duty for the particular situation which is immediately there, then he should not have done it. No, like say some fellow had eaten a goat, so he had killed the goat. Now next life he becomes a goat, so he is supposed to be killed. So now he is supposed to get that reaction of one. No, he has to get killed. So if someone will eat it, so he says, I am only instrument of giving him the karma. So I should not get any fresh karma for doing the instrumental work of the Supreme Lord, you know. No, sir. Lord is not asking you to become an instrument. He will handle it, you know. How to give karmic reaction to that goat, that person who ate the goat, that is within Krishna's and Durga Ma's plan. You don't have to take the role ki, मैं ये परोपकार करके आता हूँ, no. So whatever is our dharma, we should continue to do our dharma. And whenever someone else becomes the immediate cause to our karmic reaction, we should never blame them for that thing. No, we should know that behind that is my own karma only. Don't blame the instrument of one's own karma. Is this clear, Prabhu? This philosophy actually should be thoroughly clear. Although law of karma is very intricate. Neither you can break the law of karma, nor you should walk away from your dharma thinking that karmic reaction is coming, to that person.
Hare, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt. Prabhuji, in this, when some king punishes some and king punishes, in that way, the king has a right to punish.
correct.
Yes.
That is dharma.
So that is
That
dharma.
is, that is dharma. That is his dharma. And by that, he is helping the soul to get free from the karmic reaction which he was supposed to get in a very minuscule way. He has minimized the reaction because that is the proper way to actually help him out. But what happened in this case, he went on to do the duty of the king and he went overboard. So when he went overboard, that was not his dharma. That's why Swami Manu had to correct. Okay, so we'll go ahead. Okay, read the next one.
Misidentification of oneself and others as I and you on the basis of bodily concept of life is a product of ignorance. This bodily concept is the cause of repeated birth and death, and it makes us go on continuously in material existence.
So this was told by Swayambhav Manu also. And again here it gets repeated. This I and mine idea. मैं और मेरा भाई मेरे भाई को मारा इसलिए ज्यादा दर्द हो रहा हूँ. So the concept should be given up. That is what.
The conception of I and you, aham, tvam, as separate from each other is due to our forgetfulness of our eternal relationship with Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Person, Krishna, is the central point, and all of us are his parts and parcels, just as hands and legs are part and parcels of the whole body. When we actually come to this understanding of being eternally related to Supreme Lord, this distinction, which is based on the bodily concept of life, cannot exist.
And then Prabhupada gives the example of hand, leg, and the body. Because say someone is the hand and another is the leg, but all are part of the same person's body. So Lord is the Supreme Lord and we are all his part and parcels. So we can never see another living entity separate from oneself. We are also a part and he is also a part. So that way we become Krishna conscious. Since the Lord is absolute, the services are also absolute. Even though the hand is working one way and the leg is working another way. Since the purpose is the Supreme Lord, they are all one. So one should also see, like ISKCON is Prabhupada's body. So we should, like imagine there is a thorn in the leg. So if there is a thorn in the leg, will the hand have to be told by someone else, please go and pick up the thorn? What do you say? It is a reflex action. There is a reflex action, how it works. It does not require the brain to work. The nervous system has a special mechanism by which even before the sensation reaches to the brain, the hand reaches out to pick up the thorn. So hand go, nahi, मैं तो ice cream खा रहा हूँ. I am eating ice cream. I cannot pick up the thorn. No, sir. Now the pleasure of the ice cream cannot give any taste on the tongue because the leg is in pain. Right? Similarly, in our life, we should always feel Prabhupada's body is ISKCON. So any part of the body is suffering, Srila Prabhupada is in pain. And we should be in our own adhikar, wanting to serve in that. We may not be able to do everything. At least we should be prayerful. At least we should be concerned. Every part of the body cannot run to pick up the thorn. But every part of the body is conscious of the pain. Right? So one should be conscious in trying to serve Prabhupada's body as one body. Similarly, when we see the entire world also, Prabhupada, there's a verse in the Bhagavatam which says that it takes a man of average intelligence to think that if one part of the body is in pain, the other part will go and help. So this whole creation is the Lord's body. And if one part of the body is in pain, how can the other party rest in peace? So it takes average intelligence person that if the other people are suffering, one should be compassionate. As a proof karti hai Bhagavatam. There's a very beautiful lecture on that by Srila Radhanath Maharaj. Person of average intelligence. Yeah. As soon as the living entity thinks that he is independent, his conditional material existence begins. So actually, we should come to Vasudeva consciousness. That means what? Like one time, Radhashampu said that we should also open one Pujari voice. What is Pujari voice? He said, see, there are many Vishnu temples and the Pujaris don't know how to worship the Lord. They don't read Bhagavatam. I think we should call all of them and train them in Pujari voice. And we'll train then all the temples of Vishnu, even if they are not ISKCON temples. There also the worship of Lord Vishnu will become very nicely done. Lord Vishnu will become more pleased. So he is not talking like Pune temple only. He is sending devotees to other temples. He is not thinking ISKCON only. Let Vishnu be pleased all over through other organizations also. How does it matter whether Vishnu is being worshipped by some other organization or ISKCON? Lord Vishnu should become
Worship.
pleased. So this way we should come to the platform of being a pleasure giver to Lord Vishnu, not be Lagu Chetasam, that me and my temple and my department, and actually whatever is there, like sometimes my voice versus your voice, my temple versus your temple, my organization versus your organization. Like his case, Amog Leela Prabhu is very broad-hearted Vaishnava. So he has made so many devotees. Many devotees have become 1600 by his online classes only. But he is not possessive. Jahan jaake join kar lo, And not only that, actually he goes out to serve so many temples. You ask him, which temple you belong to? I belong to ISKCON, I belong to ISKCON. He was telling, देखो एक सिटी है उसमें ISKCON है, कोई ब्रह्म कुमारी वाले आ जाए तो चलेगा, तो ये आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग वाले आ जाए चलेगा, मायावादी सब आ जाए चलेगा, क्योंकि ISKCON नहीं आना चाहिए। ऋत्विक वाले आ जाए तो चलेगा, लेकिन ISKCON एक और नहीं आना चाहिए। ये लोग खा जाए, उस जीवात्मा को मर जाए, वो बेचारा वो मायावाद में मर जाए चलेगा, क्रिश्चियन आके खा जाए, सब हो जाए चलेगा, लेकिन ISKCON नहीं आना चाहिए। कई सब भाईचारा है हाँ? हाँ, ISKCON वाला डिवोटी बोलता है ISKCON मत आओ, बाकी सब आता ही अपने आप आता है, पूछने थोड़ी आएगा आपसे, कि ब्रह्म कुमारी आएगा क्या आपसे पूछने की मैं आऊं नहीं आऊं, सब लोग आके जीवात्मा का हशर कर रहे हैं, they're slaughtering the living entities like in masses, and हम 10 लोग लेके बैठता है, एक कॉलेज में 10 लोग का सेंटर बनाता है, बोलता है ये कॉलेज में मेरा अभी कब्जा हो गया है, when we take kabza na, when we take this kind of idea that I am the ruler of this place, 1/6 comes to us. Because we are thinking that all the living entities are under my custody. So if there are 2000 living entities and you have captured only 10 in your voice, all other 1990 fellows are under your custody now. Because you thought, this is all my property. So abhi unka reaction lo. Otherwise, be kind-hearted that if some other Vaishnava wants to bring them up, this is भगवान की भूमि है, आपकी भूमि नहीं है। सब लोग कुछ भगवान उनके भक्त बनाओ, हमारा कुछ नहीं है, हम तो भाई 10 लोग को भी पार लगाते बड़ी बात होगी, अपने को पार लगाने की गड़बड़ है। So we should never be possessive actually. We should be always concerned how harmoniously may the family of Vaishnavas expand. Then Lord will say, okay, he is just doing yagna as an instrument, then we will not get reaction. But when one thinks, okay, ये मेरा property है, इधर मत आने, उधर मत आने, ठीक है, low reaction. Then that is why actually because of all these possessive mentalities, then people get reaction and their bhajan becomes impeded. Their bhajan is not anymore sweet. Why? Because they are taking a lot of wrong understandings of life actually. Their attitudes have become wrong actually. We should be sincere as an instrument of the Lord.
Prabhuji.
Sorry,
just means we should not be inimical to other, but there is a scene that those who are sincere, seniors give more attention to them, or those who are obedient, whenever they are asked, they are ready to serve, and those who are after telling many times they don't do seva. So they are kept little, they are given less time, and that they are given less attention. So we are not inimical to them, but we don't give that much. So is it also the part of fault, or what's exactly?
Yeah, if someone is not responding to our kind care towards him, that should we again and again invest into him. See, if we are
not
you-
only care, yes, I mean, not only care in terms of services also. Means some devotees given seva, so he after telling he doesn't do, and other devotee after telling he does promptly. So
see, first we
naturally
should have a
difference.
first we should have a Vishram Bhen Bhav. Vishram Bhen Bhav means what? We should feel like a father. We should feel like an elder brother. We should feel like a family. Say someone is not having a desire to serve. Someone is not serving. It may be because he has some practical problem in his life. It may be because he has not learned the principle of service attitude very nicely. So, how can I help this devotee come to the higher platform? You know? So, actually, when we are praying to Tulsi Marani every day in the morning, we should be praying. If we are a manager, see, a manager can simply manage like taskmaster. Hey, tum ye karo, tum wo karo. But Tulsi Marani engages all the living entities to devotionally offer service to Radha Krishna. You know? So we should pray to Mother Tulsi that please let my ways of dealing with all the devotees here be inspiring for them to become more devoted to Radha Krishna's service. Let them feel, yes, I want to do this service. I want to. When His Holiness Vishnujan Maharaj, he had to allot services. You know what he will do? He will just sing kirtan, and all the devotees would come like, Pied Piper fellow was getting everyone mesmerized. And they will say, how can I serve? And then he will say, do this service. And he will continue kirtan. And so he was a very inspiring leader. He would make devotees go for 8 to 10 hours of Harinam together. Powerful, na? Yeah. So actually, first of all, we should think that is there something I can do for that devotee to become more inspired to serve properly? Like one time, one devotee asked His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, Maharaj, I am cleanliness in charge in the voice का मीटिंग चल रहा था वॉइस बॉयज का महाराज के साथ तो उसमें महाराज को पूछा महाराज आई एम क्लेनलीनेस इन चार्ज इन वॉइस बट डिवोटीज डोंट हियर ओनली दे डू वट एवर दे वांट टू डू और नॉट डू व्हाट शुड आई डू ब्रो महाराज आई फील लाइक आई शुड क्विट दिस सर्विस महाराज said okay. So first you should think what more you can do to see that they can serve. Maybe you have told them to clean, but they don't know which area. Maybe they know the area, but you have not given them the items like the broom and the mop. Maybe they need to be inspired by you, showing by example that you also do your part. Maybe they need your help to know how to clean. Maybe you have not appreciated those who already did the cleaning, so they are not feeling encouraged to do it again and again. So he told like these 7, 8, 10 points. After that devotee understood basically I have to think about my own work, have I done my job? No, well, no. So Maharaj was trying to help the living entity first understand whether you have done your dharma well or not. After doing your dharma well, there will be some living entities who will still not follow the plan. So take it as a part of your purification and see how you can help that devotee through another devotee at your best level and move on. Okay, we will move on.
Thank you,
Otherwise,
Prabhuji.
we will have some problem in coverage.
Okay.
Yes, personally लेंगे प्रभु personally. तद्गच्छ ध्रुव भद्रम ते भगवंतम अधोक्षजम सर्वभूतात्म भावेन सर्वभूतात्म विग्रहम.
My dear Dhruva, come forward. May the Lord always grace you with good fortune. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is beyond our sensory perception, is the super soul of all living entities, and thus all entities are one, without distinction. Begin, therefore, to render service unto the transcendental form of the Lord, who is ultimate shelter of all living entities.
So, 2 words are used. Sarva bhutatma bhavena. So, he is actually he is the super soul of all the living entities. And Sarva bhutatma vigraham. So, he is, by giving service to him, we are serving all the living entities. So, Prabhupada writes about vigraham, which means that he has a form. Prabhupada, wherever Mayavad ko punch maar sakte hai na, Mayavadi is always sitting by the side of Prabhupada. Anytime he can punch that fellow, no? Abhi dekh, boom, 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 and then again he continues his action. So, Vigram means the form is there. The living entity has a form, but he is different from the Supreme Lord. Then Dhruv Maharaj is told to render service to the Supreme Form. So, Manav Seva hi Madhav Seva hai. Nahi. Madhav Seva hi Manav Seva hai. all the leaves and twigs and water, flower and fruits are watered by watering the root of the tree. That is also part of this, that you render devotional service to the Lord and He will be able to satisfy all the living entities. Okay. Bhajasva bhajaniyangrim abhavaya bhavachidam yuktam virahitam shaktya gunam mayatma mayaya.
Engage yourself fully, therefore, in devotional service of the Lord, for only He can deliver us from this entanglement of materialistic existence. Although the Lord is attached to His material potency, He is aloof from her activities. Everything in this material world is happening by the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So few words. Bhajasva means you should engage in devotion service. And then bhajaniya, who is worthy of the bhajan? No? So bhajaniya angrim, whose lotus feet are worthy of worshipping. And then abhavaya, for the deliverance of from material existence. Bhavachidam, only the Lord can cut the knot of material existence. And then he says, Yuktam virahitam shaktya. He is attached also and aloof from this material existence. Amazing, no? Yuktam means he is attached. And virahitam means he is aloof. Huh? Amazing, no? So Prabhupada will explain. No? Guna mayaya atma mayaya. Atma mayaya. It is his inconceivable potency. This atma. So Bhajasva, Prabhupada writes, read yellow part.
Whenever the word bhajasva appears, meaning engage yourself in devotional service, there must be the servant, service, and the served. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is served. The mode of activities to please Him is called service, and one who renders such service is called the servant.
So whenever we say service, we should always have an object of service. It cannot be only I am doing service. Like say, Prabhu, I was preaching. No, who are you pleasing in your preaching? That should be known. Not that, Prabhuji, I thought preaching is always pleasing to Lord Krishna. No. Are we conscious of what is Lord Krishna's desire? Are we conscious of what He has ordered through our spiritual masters and preceptors and guides? So we should be always thinking, who is the person who I am trying to please? If you are serving, say, sweet rice, and say that devotee has already eaten a lot, and you say, Prabhuji, lena hi padega aapko dal, So you may be serving the best item in the whole menu, but he will say, Prabhu, I didn't want it, So have you pleased him? But if you say, I have done my service, no, you cannot do service without thinking of the object of our pleasure. No? Object of pleasure. Okay, next one, Bhajaniya.
Another significant feature in this verse is that only Lord and no one else is to be served. That is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. There is no need to serve demigods who are just like hands and legs of Supreme Lord.
Yeah, so Bhajaniya. Bhajaniya, only Supreme Lord is worthy of the bhajan. No demigods. Not Kali Kirtan and all that, Yeah. Then Abhavaya Bhavachidam. Abhavaya means for the deliverance from material existence. And Bhavachidam means the one who can actually cut the cycle of birth and death. Okay.
Tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat. This means that the Lord, in order to show specific favor to the devotee, directs the devotee from within in such a way that ultimately he is delivered from the entanglement of the material existence. No one but Supreme Lord can help the living entity to be delivered from the entanglement of this material world.
So the Lord is always trying to help us get out of the cycle of birth and death. That is His one and only mission. He can sacrifice His project also for that. Like imagine we are getting frustrated in our project. Then we think, why Lord you are doing this with me? Maybe we are very proud. So Lord try to make us humble by... He is not possessive of the project. If we are becoming proud, then Krishna can sacrifice His project of reclaiming more living entities if it is costing Him His devotees pure devotion service. He wants that His devotee. So Gaurav Prabhu was saying that Lord has two missions, to deliver us and to deliver through us. So He decides which mission to take ahead. Sometimes He decides to take the mission of delivering us. And that may mean that He does not deliver through us. because we are becoming so much caught up in doing deliverance business that we have forgotten our bhajan also. So then Lord will take this mission only ahead. So, and sometimes to encourage the devotee, he may continue the delivering the mission. So he decides which mission is important, not you. And then the next one is Yuktam Virahitam Shaktya. Okay, read the yellow.
This material energy is one of the Lord's potencies, as much as heat and light are potencies of fire. The material energy is not different from the Supreme Godhead, but at the same time, he has nothing to do with the material energy. The living entity, who is the marginal energy, is entrapped by the material energy on the basis of his desire to lord it over material world. The Lord is aloof from this, but when the same living entity engages himself in the devotional service of the Lord, then he becomes attached to this service. This situation is called yuktam. For devotees, the Lord is present even in the material energy. This is the inconceivable potency of the Lord.
Yeah, so inconceivable potency, the word used there is Atma Maya. Yeah? And he's saying Yuktam and Viraitam. So he's aloof, whatever is happening in this material world. But as soon as the devotee uses that material energy in the service of the Lord, then he becomes very attached to that service. No? He feels, oh, this devotee is offering me sweet rice. He's offering me makhan. So he's very attached to that. Is makhan important to him? All the makhan has come from him only. But because now it's a via media of service, so he takes it as, oh, I want that makhan. You know? So that way, Lord is attached. Okay. We'll read the next.
My dear Dhruva Maharaj, son of Maharaj Uttanapad, we have heard that you are constantly engaged in transcendental loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known for his lotus navel. You are therefore worthy to take all benedictions from us. Please, therefore, ask without hesitation whatever benediction you want from me.
So Dhruva Maharaj was known to be always remembering the Supreme Lord. So such a pure, uncontaminated devotee of the Lord is worthy to have all the benediction from all the demigods. He does not have to worship the demigod separately for such benediction. And for persons who engage in devotional service of the Lord, all material benedictions are like waiting like maid servants. No, Bilwa Mangal Thakur says, right?
Yes.
What is that? Buk Mukti Mukti Mukulutananjali Asmat. You know, what is that? Yeah. No, not Sarupena.
Three Sandhya, wait.
Okay, you know that. So Mukti Devi is just waiting at the door of the devotee to offer liberation, or more than that at any time. To be a devotee is therefore an exalted position. Simply by rendering transcendental loving service unto the Supreme Lord, one can have all the benedictions of the world without separate endeavor. So we should not have any thoughts that we have to worship the nakshatras or the demigods or anything. Supreme Lord ka bhakt banne ka pakka. So Lord Kuvera said that Dhruva Maharaj, he had heard that Dhruva Maharaj is always in Samadhi. So in other words, he knew that for Dhruva Maharaj there was nothing desirable within the three matter worlds. So he knew Dhruva would ask for nothing but to remember the Supreme Lord. See, he is giving him temptation. Huh? Please, therefore, ask without hesitation, whatever benediction you want from me. And before that, he has reminded also that you always remember Supreme Lord. So what does Dhruva Maharaj say? Maitre uvacha Saraja Rajena Varaya Chodito Dhruvo Maha Bhagavato Mahamati Arauva Savabre Chalitam Smitim Yaya Taratyayatnena Duratyayam Tama. Okay, change भी करते हैं प्रभु.
The great
change करते हैं.
The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, when thus asked to accept a benediction from Kuvera, the Yaksharaj, king of the Yakshas, Dhruva Maharaj, the most elevated pure devotee, who was an intelligent and thoughtful king, begged that he might have unflinching faith in and remembrance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For thus a person can cross over the ocean of nations very easily, although it is very difficult for others to cross.
So two words used for Dhruva Maharaj is Mahabhagavat and Mahamati. And what does he want? Achalitam smritim. Unflinching remembrance of the Lord. And then Tarati ayatnena duratyayam tama. To surpass this duratya, it is Mama Maya Duratyaya. Even sannyas mantra is that, na? Etam sasthaya paratmanishtam adhyasitam burvatamair maharshibhi Aham tarishyami duranta param tamo mukundangri nishevayaiva. Duranta. Duranto nikalta hai na? So duranta param. It is very difficult to cross the cycle of birth and death. But I will adhyatma satam. What is it? Following in the footsteps of the Purvatamai Maharshi. I will follow in the footsteps of the previous acharyas, and I will be able to take shelter of Mukunda Seva. Then I will cross over it. So here he is asking for that only. Yeah.
To be enabled to cross over material essence is known as the highest purushartha or benediction for the human being. But Dhruva Maharaj wanted a benediction which surpasses even the highest purushartha, liberation. He wanted the benediction that he might constantly remember the lotus feet of the Lord. This stage of life is called Panchama Purushartha. When a devotee comes to the platform of Panchama Purushartha, simply engaging in devotional service to the Lord, the fourth Purushartha, liberation, becomes very insignificant in his eyes.
What is that in the 6 items of pure devotion service? What does it represent? You have done NOD, na?
Moksha.
Moksha Lagutakrit. So it is said that the Moksha Lagutakrit means the living entity sees actually the joy of moksha is a droplet also. What is it? I think I shared with you, na, the pararda 10 to the power 12. You know, usko 10 to the power 12 से multiply भी कर दे कि what we get as a pleasure in moksha. Then also it is not compared to one drop of Bhakti Ananda, इतना pleasure मिलता है, intoxicated pleasure है, Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada Saraswati has stated in this connection that for a devotee, liberation is a hellish condition of life. As for sense gratification, which is available in the heavenly planets, the devotee considered it to be a will of wisp, having no value in life.
Yeah. So what to talk of all these material pleasures? Moksha is only gone. Then hellish planet or heavenly planet, he will not even look at it. That's why in the Mahaprakash Leela, all the devotees were just wanting loving devotion to the Lord only. Krishna Pada Padma Gandha Jai Janapai Brahma Lokadi Sukha Tare Nahi Bhai. So now Mahamati is told. Anyone who is a first class, yeah.
Anyone who is first class devotee must be a first class intelligent person and therefore not interested in any kind of benediction within this material world. Dhruva Maharaj was offered a benediction by the king of the kings, Kuvera, the treasurer of the demigods, whose only business is to supply immense riches to persons within this materialistic world, described as the king of the kings. Because unless one is blessed by Kuvera, one cannot become a king. The king of the kings personally offered Dhruva Maharaj any amount of riches, but he declined to accept them. He is described therefore as Mahamati, very thoughtful or highly intellectual.
All the kings are blessed by this king, Kuvera. Then only they can become king. Right? So he's king of kings. See what is the word used there? Raja Rajena. So he's Raja Rajena, but what did Dhruv Maharaj ask? See, Srila Radhanath Maharaj was writing on this. So he was saying that, so if Kuvera comes to you and says, take any benediction, what will you ask, Prabhu? Someone may say that, Prabhu, okay, I'll ask for some riches so that I can do preaching. Fundraising. But actually, he is the most thoughtful person. He asked for only loving remembrance of the Supreme Lord. Yeah. See, if the treasurer or the demigods only comes, still we should ask this. How can one become a slave of the donors? Become enslaved by, oh, isne mere ko itna diya hai, so we should never become, caught up in the idea of appeasing the mind and senses of the donors like that. Tasya pritena manasa tam datta vai Davadistata Pashyato Antardade Sopi Swapuram Pratyapadyata.
The son of Idavida, Lord Kuvera, was very pleased, and happily he gave Dhruva Maharaj the benediction he wanted. Thereafter, he disappeared from Dhruva's presence, and Dhruva Maharaj returned to his capital city.
So Prabhupada asks a question and answers, why did Dhruva Maharaj take a benediction from a demigod? And then for advancing in Krishna, a devotee can take, like gopis took from Mother Katyayani. So that is not against the principles of Krishna consciousness. A Vaishnava is always respectful to everyone. So when Kuvera offered him a benediction, he did not refuse it. But he wanted something which would be favorable to his advancement in Krishna consciousness. Now we are going into the next section, 10 to 16th verses, Dhruva's glorious rule and renunciation. Okay, read.
Translation.
Yeah.
As long as he remained at home, Dhruva Maharaj performed many great ceremonial sacrifices in order to please the enjoyer of all sacrifices, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prescribed ceremonial sacrifices are especially meant to please the Lord Vishnu, who is the objective of all such sacrifice and who award the resultant benedictions.
So he engaged in many sacrifices. So Prabhupada writes, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are supposed to earn their money and accumulate great riches. Sometimes they do it by acting sinfully. Kshatriyas are meant to rule over the country. Dhruva Maharaj, for example, in the course of ruling had to fight and kill yakshas. Such action is necessary for Kshatriyas. A Kshatriya should not be a coward. He should not be non-violent. To rule over the country, he has to act violently. And then he says that Kshatriyas and Vaishyas should give charity at least 50% of their accumulated wealth. So he's saying this for Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. No? आपका वैल्यूएशन कॉन्टेस्ट फ्री हो जाएगा. Even though one enters the renounced order of life, so now he is telling what the people in renounced order should do. You can read.
He still cannot give up the performance of yajna, dana and tapasya. They are never to be given up. Tapasya is meant for the renounced order of life. Those who are retired from the worldly activity should perform tapasya, penances and austerities.
So we should also continue to do yajna, dana and tapa. Yeah. Brahmacharis
in the beginning of their lives should perform different kinds of yajnas.
So now there is a yajna course. Okay. And Dhruva Maharaj is organizing it. Dhruva Maharaj Prabhu is organizing it. Okay, read. Dhruva Maharaj as an ideal king.
Dhruva Maharaj as an ideal king practically emptied his treasury.
Emptied his treasury.
He emptied his.
खाली कर दिया.
Okay. Emptied his treasury by giving charity. A king is not meant simply to realize taxes from the citizens and accumulate wealth to spend in sense gratification. Worldly monarchy has failed ever since kings began to satisfy their personal senses with the taxes accumulated from the citizens. Of course, whether the system is monarchy or democracy, the same corruption is still going on.
Yeah. See what happened when the Brahmanas became corrupt. They became proud. They didn't feel that we have to actually be pure, humble servants of the Supreme Lord. They thought we are the Brahmanas, the highest of the society. They didn't have a servant consciousness left. Then what happened? They became impure by pride. Then the monarchy said why we should follow these fellows. So get lost Brahmanas. Then from monarchy they became autocracy. And from autocratic rulers means we are the rulers. They should serve, all the people should serve me. So the taxes were used for sense gratification because they lost their purity. They are not getting guided by the Brahmanas that you should use all the money for sacrifices for the Supreme Lord. Now they have become sense gratifiers. So now, why should the fellows pay taxes to feed this rascal who is sitting as an autocratic ruler? So the Vaishya community says, get lost. So then comes capitalist class. And then when the capitalist class comes, they have all the money and they are saying, you labor class, you serve us. Then the labor class says, who are you? We are working hard. Then the communist class comes. And when the communist class is there, then there's no head in the society. So then there's a problem. So then there is mixed economy, democracy, all the types of foolish ideas. Okay. Only one who can be in the center is the Supreme Lord. As soon as you remove the Supreme Lord, the whole system starts collapsing.
The politician,
Yeah. So they take the taxes and they use it for sense gratification. So what yagna we should do? Sankirtan yagna ki jai. So Prabhupada writes an important point, practical point. All the family members
can sit down together and simply clap their hands and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Somehow or another, everyone can manage to perform such a yajna and distribute prasad to the people in general. That is the quite sufficient for this age, Sukali. This process can be accelerated with the corruption of the corporations of the state administration. Those who are the producing the country wealth simply by liberal distribution of prasad and a sankirtan, the whole world can become peaceful and prosperous.
Hari bol. So प्रसाद बांटो और संकीर्तन करो. ठीक है. So although Dhruv Maharaj was a great devotee and nothing to do with sacrifices, set the example, he did all this. So in Bharat Maharaj section, it will come when you read 5th canto that he also did these sacrifices. So as yesterday Venugopal was sharing, so while doing Karamkandi situations, when the living entity is a pure devotee, he is not having any faith in these activities. Second, he is doing it. Ashraddhaya, first one. Second, he does it for setting an example for others. Third, he actually engages in devotional service all the time also. That will come here. Now he says that karma phala pradam, he will do devotional service. See, bhakti madhuhan. So he did here, see, while carrying out devotional service. So he will do devotional service also profusely. Shravanam Kirtanam, he will not compromise. And he will see the demigods as the different limbs of the Supreme Lord. With all these conditions satisfied, he does not get contaminated with, from pure devotion. He does not step down. Okay. Then the word karma phala pradam means that the Lord only gives the phala of all the living entities, karma. Okay. Sarvatmani achyute sarve tivraugam bhakti mudvahan dadarshatmani bhuteshu tammeva vastitam vibhum. So Tivra Oga means with unrelenting force. Read.
Dhruv Maharaj rendered devotional service unto the Supreme, the reservoir of everything, with unrelenting force. While carrying out his devotional service to the Lord, he could see that everything is situated in him only and that he is situated in all living entities.
Yeah, आगे पढ़ो.
Not only the Lord is called Achyuta because he never fails in his prime duty to give protection to his devotees.
So while carrying out devotional service, he could see the Lord also. Yesterday, Venugopal was saying that one sees the creator behind the creation. So that thing becomes manifest for a intoxicated devotee. So, yeah. So he was engaging in devotional service also. That's written. Read the Vishnu Jagat Thakur.
Kings perform sacrifices to please the Devatas and Brahmanas. Without doing so, the king's work cannot be accomplished. In compliance to that, his likeness alone performed these actions. In actuality, he did not have time for such actions. This is explained in this verse.
So he was doing it through another person and he was having no time for all these things. He was more busy with devotional service. With unrelenting force, he was doing devotional service. Ambrish Maharaj had no time for all this. He was simply absorbed in Katha only. Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo. That verse. The Lord always protects his surrendered devotees. A devotee can see the Lord in everyone's heart. Not only can the devotee see him outwardly, but he can see with spiritual vision that everything is resting in the Supreme Lord. This is the Mahabhagavad vision. He sees everything others see, but instead of seeing merely the trees, mountains, cities, etc., he sees only his worshipable Supreme Personality in everything because everything is resting in him only. This is not possible by imagination or so-called meditation. Now you will talk about the qualities of Dhruv Maharaj. Tamevam Shila Sampannam Brahmanyam Dina Vatsalam Goptaram Dharma Setunam Menire Pitaram Praja. Pardon?
Dhruv Maharaj was endowed with all godly qualities. He was very respectful to the devotees of the Supreme Lord and very kind to the poor and innocent, and he protected religious principles. With all these qualifications, he was considered to be the direct father of all the citizens.
Yeah. So, Shila Sampannam. This is very beautiful, important word for any leader. He should be Shila Sampannam. It is not so important to have academic scholarship or to have a lot of managerial talents. Actually, a leader is supposed to be very filled with godly qualities. Vaishnav qualities make someone a leader. And what are they? Brahmanyam is respectful to the Brahmanas. Deenavatsalam, he is very kind to the poor. Goptaram Dharma Setunam, he is protector of the Dharma, religious principles. And such a person is like a Pitaram for the Praja. Yeah, Prahlad also, Prithu also. It will come like this. Yes. So these are all universal qualities of true leaders. I heard from Radhashampur that in the Vedic times, the king, like you have heard about Ranti Dev, you have heard about Shibi Chakravarti also. I heard about another South Indian king who actually he was going through the forest and he saw one Lata was like, like this, he was not having any support. So the king tied up the chariot only and walked barefoot. He walked on the ground and went back to his kingdom because he tied up the chariot का जो ध्वज होता है ना, he tied up that so that he gets a support. How can my Lata suffer? प्रजा की सेवा में. Huh? Name I did not know because Radhashampur said one South Indian king. And then another incident he said that he saw one peacock shivering in the winter. So he took out his own whole, the top portion of the cloth and he covered him and went on the bare chest. For a peacock also. Huh? So why will the citizens not fall in love with such a personality? If peacock का ऐसा कर सकता है कोई, so that means this is all beyond. आजकल का बेचारा करेगा तो पता नहीं जिंदा रहेगा नहीं रहेगा. No, but actually, someone lives by these qualities. The Supreme Lord protects such a devotee. Okay. Anyway, so read.
The citizens thought of Dhruv Maharaj as their father as a child. Depending on the able father is completely satisfied. So the citizens of the state being protected by the state or the king should remain satisfied in every respect.
So when someone has such a protector, shelter, then they will feel completely satisfied and protected. Okay. Brahmanyam.
Dhruv Maharaj was very devout to the Brahmanas who engaged in the study of the Vedas and thereby know the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are always busy propagating Krishna consciousness. The state should be very respectful to societies that distribute God consciousness all over the world. But unfortunately, at the present moment, there is no state or government support given to such movements.
And then Prabhupada writes about good qualities, that modern administrators have no good qualities also. Deen Vatsalam, instead they are actually, making the poor animals suffer by opening slaughterhouses. So considering all these points, people today have no alternative but to take to Krishna consciousness for protection of religion, life and property. Bhakti karke jo bhi Bhagwan bacha lo. Okay. Satrimshad varsha sahasram sasasra shiti mandalam bhogai punya shayam kurvan abhogai ashubham shayam.
Dhruv Maharaj ruled over this planet for 36,000 years. He diminished the reactions of pious activities by enjoyment, and by practicing austerities, he diminished inauspicious reactions.
Yeah. So 36,000 years. So Prabhupada first tells about 1 lakh is the duration in Satyuga. And then 1,000, 1 lakh, 10,000, 1,000, and now 100 is also difficult. So that is why he could do 36,000 years of rulership. And here he also then says there are two types of activities, pious and impious. Read this.
A devotee, however, is not interested in enjoyment or affected by distress.
So piety leads to enjoyment and impiety leads to distress. But he is not affected by either of them. He is not interested in either of them. Yeah.
When he is prosperous, he knows I am diminishing the results of my pious activities. And when he is in distress, he knows I am diminishing the reactions of my impious activities. A devotee is not concerned with the enjoyment or distress. He simply desires to execute devotional service. It said in Bhagavatam that devotional service should be apratihata, unchecked by material conditions of happiness or distress.
That means he does not become too too much engrossed in settling these things. How to get more happiness. Like say suppose now you are sitting in the fan. If fan goes away, not like, abhi chodo Bhagavatam padhna band kar denge, You getting, na? Devotional service should go on. Not that, agar fan nahi hai to hum to Bhagavatam hi nahi karenge, So one should not be so caught up in the bodily happiness and distress that without that I cannot stay in devotional service only. Whatever devotional service we have to do, we will do. We will adjust to the material situations. The devotee?
The devotee undergoes processes of austerity such as observing Ekadashi and similar other fasting days and refraining from illicit sex life, intoxication, gambling, and meat eating. Thus, he becomes purified from the reactions of his past impious life. And because he engages in devotional service, which is the most pious activity, he enjoys life without separate endeavor.
Yeah, so he's doing devotional service, so that's the most pious activity. There is nothing more beyond that. So one does not need to do any pious activity actually. So Vishnu Chakrita writes,
This desire to destroy reactions is exhibited out of humility. Actually, he did not have any pious or sinful reactions since he had developed prema.
He's not at all on the nirdahati kintu cha karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajan. He has no more karmic reaction only left, no piety left, no sinful reaction left. So there is nothing to talk about this. But out of humility, he's thinking I have to do this. So devotee himself does not think I am beyond it, but he is actually beyond it by prema. Okay. Read.
The self-controlled great soul Dhruva Maharaj thus passed many years favorably executing three kinds of worldly activities, namely religiosity, economic development, and satisfaction of all material desires.
So Dharmarth Kama was executed by him because he is right now a king.
Thereafter, he handed over the charge of the royal throne to his son.
Yeah. So to maintain the status quo, he did this. And then as soon as his son grew up, he handed over the charge and retired from material entanglement. And then the word one, avichal indriya means his senses did not become old. No, that means he was sense controlled. He was not interested in sense gratification. He performed his duties perfectly according to materialistic way, but he was not having any sense gratification program behind it. That means Dharmarth Kam is doing as a duty. Karo. Raghunath Das Goswami's example, he was renounced from inside, but he was executing worldly duties. Okay. So we have reached for verse number 15. I'm trying to catch up. Manyamana idam vishwam maya rachitamatmani avidya rachita swapna gandharva nagaropamam. How did he see all this whole worldly situation of his?
So Dhruva Maharaj realized that this cosmic manifestation bewilders living entities like a dream or phantasmagoria because it is a creation of the illusory external energy of the Supreme Lord.
This is how he was seeing everything. Although he is going through it, he is only ruling over the whole world. But was he seeing? He is just saying it's an illusion. Maya hai Bhagwan ki. Maya rachitam. Avidya rachita swapna. This is swapna. Gandharva nagaropamam. Upama kisse dete the wo? Gandharva Nagar. Gandharva Nagar is actually like an imagined palace in the middle of the forest. That is Gandharva Nagar. Self-realized?
A self-realized person or a devotee knows well that this material cosmic manifestation is a temporary illusory representation appearing to be truth. It is like a phantasmagoria. But behind this shadow creation, there is reality, the spiritual world. The devotee is interested in the spiritual world, not its shadow.
Yeah. So through it all, he can see this is all illusory energy, and there is that eternal Supreme Lord's abode. I want to go there, So, right. Okay. So, we will read one verse. Atma striyapatya suhid balam. What is the meter? Atma striyapatya suhido balam riddha kosham antapuram pravahyara bhuvascha ramya bhumandalam jaladi mekhalamakalaya kalopasishtam iti sa prayayau vishalam. Okay, online Prabhus. Vilas Vardhan Prabhu.
Thus Dhruv Maharaj at the end left his kingdom, which extended all over the earth and was bounded by the great oceans. He considered his body, his wives, his children, his friends, His army, his rich treasury, his very comfortable palaces, and his many enjoyable pleasure grounds to be creations of the illusory energy. Thus, in due course of time, he retired to the forest in the Himalayas known as Badrikashrama.
See, Shiti, this Bhumandalam, entire Bhumandal is his. हैं? अपने को तो एक छोटा सा सेंटर मिलता है ना, उसको पूरा भूमंडल है. And what all he is having? See, wives and children and friends, army. How much army he must be having? Bhumandala. And rich treasury and very comfortable palaces. हाँ? हमारा एक छोटा सा रूम है, लॉकर है, नो. So think about it. If an enjoyable pleasure grounds, there must be many dasis to, take, give him the royal, bath and everything. And all that is illusion only, How much detached a living entity can be, See, we are sitting in Brahmachari ashram, so we don't have anything to renounce only much, अपने को है क्या हमारे पास. But someone who is in that, and he can see that illusion, and he can remain completely absorbed in Krishna, what a personality he must be, intoxicated. Yudhishthira Maharaj was also like that. He was not ever attracted to all this stuff, Yeah. These are intoxicated devotees, basically. भगवान के पीछे पागल हो गए ना. Even Parikshita was like that, Uttama Shlokalas. Yeah. Bharat was like that. Yeah. Read.
In the beginning of his life, when he went to the forest in search of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Dhruv Maharaj realized that all bodily conceptions of pleasure are product of the illusory energy.
Yeah. And then Prabhupada writes that, but he was earlier for the kingly assets. Yeah. From the acts
of Srila Dhruv Maharaj, we can understand that somehow or the other, if one becomes Krishna conscious, it does not matter what his motivation is in the beginning. He will eventually realize the real truth by the grace of the Lord. In the beginning, Dhruv Maharaj was interested in the kingdom of his father, but later he became a great devotee, Mahabhagavat, and had no interest in material enjoyment.
So when we say Anyabhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam, Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhaktir Uttama. So even if one does not have Anyabhilashita Shunyam, but somehow or the other he engages in bhakti. The Dhruv Maharaj's example is given in the Tivrena Bhakti Yogena. He was doing Tivra Bhakti. He was a Sarvakami, that kind of a personality. He wanted to kingdom greater than his great-grandfather also. But because of Tivra Bhakti, he was not taking shelter of anything but Bhakti. And that also under the guidance of Narad Muni. So, it is not necessary that one begins an Anyabhilashita Shunyam, but if one does Tivra Bhakti, one will come to Anyabhilashita Shunyam one day. So that is the great benediction of Shuddha Bhakti program. Yeah. Okay, so now Dhruv Maharaj ascends to Dhruv Loka, Hari Bol. Now he is going to go back to Godhead. हो गया अभी. First he is going to Badrikashram. In Badrikashram, he will be there and the क्या बोलते हैं, Vaikuntha airline will come there. तस्याम विशुद्ध कर्ण शिववार विघाय बद्वासनम जितमरुन् मनसा हृताक्ष स्थूले ददार भगवत प्रतिरूप एतत् ध्यायं तद्दिव्यहितो विसृजत् समाधौ. पढ़िए. कहाँ है माइक भाई?
In Badrikashrama.
You want to say something? अच्छा, online. Yeah, Vilaswardhan.
In Badrikashrama, Dhruv Maharaj's senses became completely purified because he bathed regularly in the crystal clear purified water. He fixed his sitting position and by yogic practice controlled the breathing process and the air of life. In this way, his senses were completely withdrawn. Then he concentrated his mind on the Archavigraha form of the Lord, which is the exact replica of the Lord, and thus meditating upon him, entered into complete trance.
Yeah, so he was taking bath in the pure waters. Then he was also doing Ashtanga Yoga. And then he was doing worship of the Supreme Lord. And meditating, he became completely in trance. Description, right? Read the yellow parts.
Description of the Ashtanga Yoga system to which Dhruv Maharaj was already accustomed.
हाँ, तो इधर अष्टांग योग से बताया है. आगे बताएंगे विश्वनाथ ठाकुर इसका क्या पर्पट है. Okay,
he concentrated his mind on the Archa Vigraha, the worshipable deity of the Lord.
So Prabhupada tells the importance of Archa Vigraha worship in the temples. Okay. Bhaktim haro bhagavati pravahanna jasram ananda baspa kalaya muhuradyamana viklidyamana hridaya pulakachitango natmanamasmarad asaviti muktalinga.
Because of his transcendental bliss, incessant tears flowed from his eyes, his heart melted, and there was shivering and standing of the hairs all over his body. Thus transformed in a trance of devotional service, Dhruva Maharaj completely forgot his bodily existence, and thus he immediately became liberated from material bondage.
So incessant tears flowed from the eyes. I was hearing his own Radhavind Maharaj. He said, जब चैतन्य महाप्रभु रोते थे तो ऐसा नहीं कि ऐसे आंसू आते थे, फुव्वारा आता था, पिचकारी की तरह बाहर निकलते थे. क्या होता होगा वो ना. Anyway, read.
Due to constant engagement in devotional service,
Read the entire thing. Yeah.
hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping the deity, etc., as prescribed in 9 varieties, there are different symptoms which appear in the body of a devotee. These 8 bodily transformations, which indicate that a devotee is already liberated within himself, are called Ashtasattva Vikar. When a devotee completely forgets his bodily existence, he should be understood to be liberated. He is no longer engaged in the body. The example is given that when a coconut becomes completely dry, the coconut pulp within the coconut shell separates from the bondage of the shell and the outer covering. By moving the dry coconut, one can hear that the pulp within is no longer attached to the shell or to the covering. Similarly, when one is fully absorbed in devotional service, he is completely disconnected from the 2 material coverings, the subtle and gross bodies.
So although he's sitting in the body, but he's not having any bodily consciousness. No? So this happens, the symptoms are shown by Mahabhagavat, like Lord Chaitanya, Thakur Haridas, and many more. And these should not be imitated. No. At the same time, when the devotee is materially free, he shows this. And then a Mukta Linga means what? Read.
An important word in this verse is Mukta Linga. Mukta means liberated, and Linga means the subtle body. When a man dies, he quits the gross body, but the subtle body of mind, intelligence, and ego carries him to a new body. While existing in the present body, the same subtle body carries him from one stage of life to another. For example, from childhood to boyhood, by mental development.
Yeah, so Mukta Linga means one is liberated from the subtle body. No? When one becomes liberated even from the subtle body, at that time the living entity is competent and fully prepared to be transferred to the transcendental spiritual abode. One can experience the distinction between the subtle and gross body even in the dream. One's gross body is lying on the bed with the subtle body, carries the soul, living entity to another atmosphere. But because the gross body has to be continued, the subtle body comes back and settles in the present body. No? So that means the subtle body has gone somewhere with the soul. And then it comes back to be in the gross body. Therefore, one has to become free from the subtle body also. Otherwise, we'll come back into this some gross body. That is called Mukta Linga. So you read this one, Prabhu. Why he was doing yoga?
Yeah, they had the same question. Out of obligation, he performed yoga for 2 or 3 days to respect proper conduct of yogis present there. Actually, he did not have any time for yoga. The cause of his symptoms was not yoga. He had become free of bodily identification. Dhruva simply was showing the common people the process of karma yoga for householders and Ashtanga yoga for renounced person.
Amazing ना. For 2-3 days he did it. वहाँ पे बहुत सारे योगी लोग बैठे थे, थोड़ा उनको भी सांत्वना देने के लिए. So he did when he was a ruler in the planet, then he was doing some activities of karma yoga, doing sacrifices and all that, because he has to tell them, देखो बेटा ऐसे करना चाहिए. Now he has come to the renounced program in Badrika Ashram, so he is doing some Anulom Vilom kind of activities also. He is making them feel okay, ये भी अपने जैसा ही है, ऐसा भी करना चाहिए हमको. And then he is actually he is a pure devotee of the Lord. He does not need all these yoga things. 2-3 दिन किया, उसके बाद भक्ति में absorb हो गया पूरा. Yeah.
See, but why Narada also told to do these things when he was a 5-year-old? Rechak and Purak and all those things mentioned that he should breathe to like this and all.
Yeah. So that was part of the program also in the Satyuga, that someone does that. Heard of, he also gave him the bhakti process and Ashtanga Yoga. Bhakti process mein worship was also told by him. And Ashtanga Yoga was something which was most commonly done actually at that time as one of the part of the process to purify one's existence. And he chanted mantra also, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So three things, the yogic process. So Srila Radhanath Maharaj was telling in one lecture that same things Prabhupada has given us in form of, like, the yoga process was in terms of trying to reduce bodily requirements and have sense control. So for that, Prabhupada said, follow 4 regular obediences. This much only we can do. And he has also told us deity worship, and he has told us chant Hare Krishna. Same things are being given to us. So the process of the Ashtanga Yoga is basically geared in that sense, that geared towards controlling the mind and senses, which is required for Bhakti Yogi also. In that much proportion, it still is important to us. But we may not do all of that. Sometimes a devotee, if he is feeling too disturbed in japa, he may do pranayam also. Rupa Goswami says it's okay. So like that. Not that his goal is pranayam. His goal is to chant nicely. Okay. So, okay. So,
Yeah, but then bhakti becomes dependent on these other yogas.
no. Bhakti is not dependent. Actually, there are 3 parts in bhakti: Aropa Siddha Bhakti, Sangha Siddha Bhakti, and Swarup Siddha Bhakti. Chanting holy name, doing deity worship of the Lord, or what do we say? Hearing the glories of the Lord. These are all Swarup Siddha Bhakti process. Watering the tulsi and all. But like when you want to chant, so it said you sit straight, then you can chant nicely. So this is called Sangha Siddha Bhakti. Although it looks like a yogic process, but because you're doing it for chanting holy name, it also becomes part of the bhakti process. But this is not as potent as chanting itself. The chanting in itself is evoking bhakti. But just sitting straight does not evoke bhakti. You sit straight, will it bring bhakti? No, sir. But if you sit straight and chant japa nicely, then that is going to help in bhakti. So sometimes some activities of yogi also are helpful for a bhakta. So one may do that as a part of trying to please the Lord. It is not that bhakti is dependent on it, but he is using whatever is favorable for doing the devotional activity nicely. Like we take a bath. Without bath also you can chant the holy name. So we should not take bath only. No kriyas required, then we will be in tamoguna. So bhakti is not dependent on it, but we are in modes. We are trying to rise above the mode also to chant in sattva. So
Yes, like Ajamil was lying down on bed and chanting, still he got the utmost benefit. Although you're not sitting straight.
He was not only lying down, he was going to die only. He was going to go out of the bed soon. Okay. This section is still a little longer. If you want to take a little break, maybe you can get up, and because it's becoming hot. I think devotees' eyes are becoming down. No, I'm seeing the Vaishnavas' eyes from the front. So you can all get up 5 minutes. You can come back. No? I don't know how long we can go, but whatever we are going, at least you should be awake to go. Anyway, I will be going on. 5 minutes. 12:32 will become. वापिस आ जाना, यद गत्वा ना निवर्तन्ते। ध्रुव महाराज को गोलोक भेजने का है अभी। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol. Kirtano. One mantra. Hare Krishna. So, we'll continue. Some Vaishnavas have gone out, but we'll soon descend back. So now the Vaikuntha line comes. Sadadarsha Vimanagram Navaso Vataradruva Vibhrajayat Dasho Disho Raka Patim Ivoditam. Okay, who will read next? Shaligram Prabhu? Haven't.
As soon as the symptoms of his depression were manifest, he saw a very beautiful airplane.
No, sound is not coming, bro.
Hare Krishna.
Very less sound. इधर से बढ़ाना होगा क्या?
As soon as the symptoms of his liberation were manifest, he saw a very beautiful airplane coming down from the sky, as if the brilliant full moon were coming down, illuminating all the 10 directions.
Imagine a whole full moon is coming down, you know, like that. So read the entire thing.
There are different levels of acquired knowledge: direct knowledge, knowledge received from authorities, transcendental knowledge, knowledge beyond the senses, and finally, spiritual knowledge. When one surpasses the stage of acquiring knowledge by the descending process, he is immediately situated on the transcendental platform. Dhruva Maharaj, being liberated from the material concept of life, was situated in transcendental knowledge and could perceive the presence of a transcendental airplane which was as brilliant as the full moonlight. This is not possible in the stages of direct or indirect perception of knowledge. Such knowledge is a special favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah, so this is 5 stages of knowledge. So Prabhupada speaks about it in another, it's in different parts. So I can share with you this document, the 5 stages of Vedic knowledge. You know, see, these are the 5 words: Pratyaksha, Paroksha, Aparoksha, Adhokshaja, and Aprakrita. So it's elaborated in Sutra Swami Maharaj's book, Substance and Shadow also. So I will send you this document. You may have it at your leisure. You know, वो chat पे भेज रहा हूँ. So he could perceive the transcendental plane because he is situated on the platform of transcendent knowledge. He can see things which are beyond the gross. We can't see the plane. Na? Sometimes people ask us also, कि प्रभुपाद के लिए तो प्लेन आया नहीं, तुम्हारे को क्या पता प्लेन आया नहीं आया ना, तुम्हारे को दिखा के थोड़ी प्रूव होगा वो. So we'll see now. It will come. Actually, Prabhupada will himself tell about it. See that. Okay, read. कहाँ गया भाई? अच्छा, online. शालिग्राम too.
One minute. Dhruva Maharaj saw two very beautiful associates of Lord Vishnu in the plain. They had 4 hands and a blackish bodily structure. They were very youthful, and their eyes were just like reddish lotus flowers. They held clubs in their hands, and they were dressed in very attractive garments with helmets and were decorated with necklaces, bracelets, and earrings.
So they had same bodily features as Lord Vishnu. Okay. Okay, this will recite. Vijñāya tāva uttama gāya vinkinkara abhyuttita sadvasa vismita krama na nama namani grinan madhudvisha parshat pradhanava iti samhatanjali.
Dhruva Maharaj, seeing that these uncommon personalities were direct servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, immediately stood up. But being puzzled in hastiness, he forgot how to receive them in a proper way. Therefore, he simply offered obeisances with folded hands and chanted and glorified the holy names of the Lord. Chanting the holy names of the Lord is perfect in every way. When Dhruva Maharaj saw the Vishnudutas, the direct associates of Lord Vishnu, 4-handed and nicely decorated, he could understand who they were, but for the time being he was puzzled. But simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna mantra, he could satisfy the uncommon guests who had all of a sudden arrived before him. The chanting of the holy name of the Lord is perfect. Even though one does not know how to please Lord Vishnu or his associates, simply by sincerely chanting the holy name of the Lord, everything becomes perfect.
Rivo.
A devotee, therefore, either in danger or in happiness, constantly chants the Hare Krishna mantra. When he is in danger, he is immediately relieved, and when he is in a position to see Lord Vishnu or his associates directly, by chanting this Maha Mantra, he can please the Lord. This is the absolute nature of the Maha Mantra. Either in danger or in happiness, it can be chanted without limitation.
Vishnu Chakri Thakur.
Out of confusion, Sadvasa, he forgot the sequence of worship. Thus he just chanted the names of the Lord, Jai Narayana, Jai Gopal, Jai Govind, and offered obeisances.
Hare Vishnu Chakri Thakur has told what he chanted also. Jai Narayan, Jai Gopal, Jai Govinda. Yeah. See, Prabhu, now it is 12:40. So you have to close at 1. We can go through some more purports. Or I can summarize everything and tell you headlines of everything. Because I have marked everything. I know everything what is going on. So I can tell you tung 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 tung. Or we can just take whatever verses we have possible within 1, or maybe we can go for some more time. Or so another option is that we go a little more longer today, or we take another, maybe I think 1 hour it will take more to finish. So which one you want? Vaishnavas? Because now I have to decide. I have to decide my next 20 minutes. I can summarize also. I have all of it in my mind. So, yeah. Any Vaishnava has any comment? Who is organizing Prabhu? Abhay Govind Prabhu? Vilas Vardhan Prabhu? Please take us some Vaishnava's opinion about it.
Yes. Actually, are devotees okay if you go till 1:30 at least? Really, will that be sufficient around?
Yeah, we can do 90% of the good job, I think, in 1:30. 1:30 is okay for all?
Which we can have some other time, 1 hour. Otherwise, we have to rush through.
Okay. So you decide half an hour more today versus 1 hour another day. ऐसा कर लेते हैं, ठीक है? वोट ले लो आप. विलासवर्धन को.
Like today, almost 1 hour it will anyways go 1:30 or around that time, 1:40. So if devotees are okay with right now, because it is in flow, we can 1 hour take and complete. If devotees feel, then we can have later. How many want today? They can raise their hands. We can like 1:30 around.
When it gets rushed through, then sometimes deeper concept get missed. Because they're in attention, we have to finish it, 1:30, finish it. And some important concept comes, then it will get missed. So 1 hour we have, so then we can go slowly and peacefully and nothing will get missed. That's my opinion.
Huh? Today, 2:30 to 4:30. Yeah. No, you decide, Prabhu. I left it to the Vaishnavas.
Okay, how many devotees are okay for tomorrow if we do another 1 hour? Matlab devotees want tomorrow we can do. Please raise your hands. Prabhu, देख लो class में देख लो. अबे गुंद.
Tomorrow 1 hour, how many? हाँ, ठीक है. Tomorrow 1 hour, 11 to 12. Yeah, 1 hour. Abhay Govind Prabhu, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All 5 here are raising hand.
Here also,
Online?
everyone is here. Online also, everyone is raising.
Okay, tomorrow 1 hour. So we'll complete nicely then. So let's complete at the right pace. Okay. Tam Krishna Pada Bhivinishta Chetasam Paddanjalim Prashya Namra Kandaram Sunandanandava Upasritti Sasmitam Pratyuchato Pushkaranava Sammatau. Okay, read. Maybe another devotee. Murlidhan Mukundru.
Yes. Dhruva Maharaj was always absorbed in thinking of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. His heart was full with Krishna. When the two confidential servants of the Supreme Lord, who were named Nanda and Sunanda, approached him, smiling happily, Dhruva stood with folded hands, bowing humbly. They then addressed him as follows.
Yeah. So his heart was full with Krishna. So word uses Krishna Pada Abhinivishta Chetasam. The Chitta is, what is? It is completely Abhinivesh in Krishna's lotus feet. No? And the word which Srila Prabhupada elaborates over is Sammatau. Read Sammatau. Sammatau is referring to confidential servants. So what does Prabhupada write there? Sammatau.
Sammatau means two confidential or very obedient servants. The materialistic way of life differs from the spiritual way of life in that one is disobedience and the other is obedience to the will of the Supreme Lord. All living entities are part and parcels of the Supreme Lord, and they are supposed to be always agreeable to the order of the Supreme Person. That is perfect oneness. In the Vaikuntha world, all the living entities are in oneness with the Supreme Godhead because they never defy His orders. Here in the material world, however, they are not sammata, agreeable, but always asammata, disagreeable. This human form of life is a chance to be trained to be agreeable to the orders of the Supreme Lord. To bring about this training in society is the mission of the Krishna Consciousness movement.
As soon as you tell the living entity that we should worship, why we should worship? You should serve. Why I should serve? Why I got it? So this living entity is all the time rebelling against the plan where he is actually a loving servant of the Lord and Lord is a loving personality to be served. But this plan is not agreeable to the conditioned souls of this material world. So the training is required. So then what happens? If Bhagavad Gita is teaching, sir, if you don't agree to the Supreme Lord, you do salam to the laws of material nature. Then you have to agree to the Supreme Lord through the stringent laws. No? So Dhruva Maharaj did it and he attained perfection in the human form of life. Okay. Read.
Nanda and Sunanda, the two confidential associates of Lord Vishnu, said, Dear King, let there be all good fortune unto you. Please attentively hear what we shall say. When you were only 5 years old, you underwent severe austerities and you thereby greatly satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So Prabhupada tells about the Gurukul mission. Read.
Any 5-year-old child can be trained, and within a very short time, his life will become successful by realization of Krishna consciousness. Unfortunately, this training is lacking all over the world. It is necessary for the leaders of the Krishna consciousness movement to start educational institutions in different parts of the world to train children, starting at the age of 5 years. Thus, such children will not become hippies or spoiled children of society. Rather, they can all become devotees of the Lord. The face of the world will then change automatically.
Hari Bol. Gurukul mission ki jai. Huh? So, yes, what can be done? We can discuss another time. Yeah. Read.
We are representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the creator of the whole universe, who carries in his hand the bow named Saranga. We have been specifically deputed to take you to the spiritual world.
Supreme Lord has deputed them. Jao, mere Dhruv ko leke aao. No? Yeah.
Throughout his life, he trained to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by austerity and penances. Now, the mature result was that Dhruva Maharaj became fit to be carried to the spiritual world, accompanied by the confidential associates of the Lord.
So we should also offer our full life. Vishnu Dutas will come in the end only. Full life to become, do all austerities and penances in such a way that the Supreme Lord is pleased all the time. That goal should be very prominent in our heart all the time. That am I pleasing the Supreme Lord through all my activities? Then the Lord, simply by that effort, that intention, He will be pleased. Okay.
To achieve Vishnu Loka is very difficult, but by your austerity you have conquered. Even the great rishis and demigods cannot achieve this position. Simply to see the Supreme abode, the Vishnu planet, the sun and moon, and all the other planets, stars, lunar mansions, and solar systems are circumambulating it. Now please come, you are welcome to go there.
So he's going to go to Dhruv Lok, So all the other planets are revolving around it. So even in the matter world, read.
Even in this material world, the so-called scientists, philosophers, and mental speculators strive to merge into the spiritual sky, but they can never go there. But a devotee, by executing devotional service, not only realizes what the spiritual world actually is, but factually goes there to live an eternal life of bliss and knowledge. The Krishna consciousness movement is so potent that by adopting these principles of life and developing love of God, one can very easily go back home, back to Godhead. While the scientists and philosophers go to the moon, but are disappointed in their attempts to stay there and alive, the devotee makes an easy journey to other planets and ultimately goes back to Godhead. Devotees have no interest in seeing other planets, but while going back to Godhead, they see all of them as passing phases, just as one who is going to a distant place passes through many small stations.
रुकती नहीं है ट्रेन उस पे चलता रहता है तो वैसे ही सो यू विल सी ऑल द प्लैनेट्स व्हेन यू आर गोइंग बैक टू गॉड इट बट उसके लिए प्योर होना चाहिए वरना उतर जाएंगे वहीं पे ऑफ कोर्स वैकुंठ विमान ओनली विल नॉट कम इफ यू हैव मटेरियल डिजायर दैट या ओके
Dear King Dhruva, neither your forefathers nor anyone else before you ever achieved such a transcendental planet. The planet known as Vishnu Loka, where Lord Vishnu personally resides, is the highest of all. It is worshipable by the inhabitants of all other planets within the universe. Please come with us and live there eternally. The associates of Lord Vishnu remind him that not only his forefathers but everyone else before him was unable to attain Vishnu Loka, the planet where Lord Vishnu resides. This is because everyone within this material world is either a karmi, a jnani, or a yogi, but there are hardly any pure devotees. The transcendental planet known as Vishnu Loka is especially meant for devotees, not for karmis, jnanis, or yogis.
So in Satyuga, to find pure devotee is a very rare thing. Actually, what we are getting as a privilege in Kali Yuga is not available very easily in Satyuga also. Anarpita charim chirat karuna avatarina kalau. Forget about actually what Anarpita charim chirat is talking about is Vrajra Prema. Even to find a pure devotee is so rare. And within pure devotees to find Brajdham Prem, oh my God, unheard of. So that is the great benediction that we are getting in Kalyuga, sitting in Pune only. We don't have to go to Badrika Ashram, you know. We are not going to execute austerities like Dhruv Maharaj. So how excited we should be about the prospect of doing all devotional austerities that Prabhupada has given us. So great rishis also, they cannot attain Brahmalok, although Brahmalok is also not a permanent place. You know, Brahma Bhuvana Loka. But the Lord's planet is Yad Gatva Narivartate. You know. So you are going in our company to that planet from which no one returns to the matter world. Yeah, read this last part.
The process called Bhakti Yoga, as executed by Maharaj Dhruva, can give one the facility not only to reach other planets within this universe, but also to reach beyond this universe to the Vishnu Loka planets.
Yeah, we have outlined this in the small booklet called Easy Journey to Other Planets. Because that time, these fellows had launched some rocket to go to moon. So Prabhupada used that type of a thing for launching a book which is similar looking. Prabhupada uses modern current affairs in preaching Krishna consciousness. Yeah.
जी यहाँ पे बोला गया कि your grandfather is nobody could go. This was
Yeah,
little
nobody has
confusing.
gone. Huh? Sorry?
Because Swayambhu Manu and
They are
even
still here
Brahma-
only on the planet.
अच्छा so हाँ उनके पहले कोई था ही नहीं basically.
Yeah.
Uttanpad
Brahmadi is still here. Swayambhu is still here. Uttanpad is still there. Uttanpad has gone for austerity. But at least
हाँ
Dhruva Maharaj is the first person in the Khandan, in the old dynasty, going back to God. You getting? Yeah.
okay. So,
Because Swayambhu will later call Priyavrata. Priyavrata is still here. Okay. So we go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, immortal one.
Okay,
This
another devotee can read now. Narari Thakurbu.
Oh, immortal one. This unique airplane has been sent by Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is worshipped by selected prayers and who is the chief of all living entities. You are quite worthy to board such a plane. According to astronomical calculation, along with the pole star, there is another star which is called Ishumar, where Lord Vishnu who is in charge of the maintenance of this material world resides. Shishumar or Dhruvaloka can never be reached by anyone but Vaishnava.
Yeah, only
As will
Vaishnavas
be
can reach it.
described, the Vaikuntha Loka airplane does not move by mechanical arrangement. Sorry. There are three
Okay,
processes for
I'll give it in short. So three processes to move in outer space. One is called Khapota Vahi. Kha means outer space and Pota means ship. So there is outer ship, na, what the modern world uses, you know, something like that. And then there is Kapota Vahi. So he's saying pigeon can carry one into outer space. This is not used by modern fellows. They don't know how to do this. And then there is Akash Patan, which is also material, which in that just as the mind can fly anywhere one likes without mechanical arrangement. So Akash Patan airplane can fly at the speed of mind. But Akash Patan can also not reach Vaikuntha planets. If you want to go to Vaikuntha planets, then we have to go for another type of plane only, which comes from Vaikuntha planets. So Prabhupada, last line you read, Prabhu, narrate Prabhu, this one.
the airplane sent by the Lord Vishnu to carry Dhruva Maharaj to Shishumar was completely spiritual, transcendental airplane. Material scientists can neither see such a vehicle nor imagine how they fly in the air.
Yeah. So that is
Material
why they will
scientists have
never
no
see.
information about it.
Yeah. So they will not ever see this type of plane. So only sometimes Lord may show mercy to, like Tukaram Maharaj's plane was visible. But all the others personalities, it's not like they don't go back to Godhead because the plane is not visible. Sir, the plane is coming from spiritual plane and it does remain spiritual only, and the person who has come to the transcendent knowledge point only he can perceive the existence of that plane. It is made up of another substance. हाँ ठीक है ना? आपके कोई फ्रेंड्स मतलब आपके जो बॉयज पूछे तो बता देना ये परपट. हाँ पहले फर्स्ट डेवलप ट्रांसलेट नॉलेज. ओके ओके दिस इज नाइस वर्स. मैत्र उवाच निशम्य वैकुंठ नियोज्य मुखयोर मधुच्युतं वाचम उरुक्रम प्रिय कृताभिषेक कृत नित्य मंगलो मुनीन् प्रणम्या शिशम अभ्यवाद्यत. Okay.
The great sage Maitreya continued. Maharaj Dhruva was very dear to Supreme Personality of Godhead. When he heard the sweet speeches of the Lord's chief associate in the Vaikuntha planet, he immediately took his sacred bath, dressed himself with suitable ornaments, and performed his daily spiritual duties. Thereafter, he offered his respectful obeisances to great sages present there and accepted their blessings.
Yeah, very beautiful point it is. This is actually, now we are coming into a very special section. Read.
We should mark how dutiful Dhruva Maharaj was in his devotional service. Even at the time he left this material world, he was constantly alert in the performance of devotional duties. Every devotee should take his bath early in the morning and decorate his body with tilak. Since Dhruva Maharaj was living at that time at Badrik Ashram, there were other great sages there. He did not become puffed up because the airplane sent by the Lord Vishnu was waiting for him. As a humble Vaishnava, I accepted blessing from all the sages before riding on the plane brought by the chief of the Vaikuntha associates.
See, can you imagine? Vaikuntha airline has already come to take him, and he is going for a bath. Huh? He has gone for a bath. He is going to do his duties, and then he offers obeisances to all the other people sitting, other sages sitting. Now he could have thought, na, see, Vaikuntha airline came for me, and all of you remain here only. Huh? You know? If you read, if you see that video of Tukaram going also, he's very humble before others. You know, he's very humble. He's not thinking that I am going. So he's saying I am going, but he's not thinking that you are all rascals. See, you remained here only. You know, huh? Ami Jato Amcha Kama is one part, but he also asks for compassion of all of them actually. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes, Abhyavadet means he made them give him blessings. That means he is asking for everyone's blessings and they heartily blessed him. And then he is boarding the plane. Can you imagine? He is boarding the plane. Who should bless whom? No? But he is very clear. Devotional service is not about who is more advanced, less advanced. Devotional service means all the living entities should bless me. You know, this idea of being more advanced, that I don't need others' blessing, this means you are not advanced. You know, and it will come actually. Now he will share something about the qualifications of a person who is going back to Godhead. What type of practical points he has actually. Okay. Okay, one more verse we'll take, and Parjanya Prabhu can read the Parityabhyarcha Dishnagyam Parshadavapi Vandecha Yeshtad Adhishtatum Bibrat Rupam Hiranmayam.
Before getting aboard,
Narray Thakur, Parjanya Prabhu can read because this last verse, otherwise we will not have his hearing.
Before getting aboard, Dhruv Maharaj worshipped the airplane, circumambulated it, and also offered obeisances to the associates of Vishnu. In the meantime, he became as brilliant and illuminating as molten gold. He was thus completely prepared to board the transcendental plane. As Lord Vishnu is worshipable, so also are his associates, his paraphernalia, his airplane, and his abode. For everything of Vishnu is good as Lord Vishnu. Dhruv Maharaj knew all this very well as a pure Vaishnava, and he offered his respects to the associates and to the plane before riding in it. But in the meantime, his body changed into spiritual existence, and therefore it was illuminating like molten gold. In this way, he also became one with the other paraphernalia of Vishnu Lok.
So Prabhupada further writes, okay, read this.
As Shishumara, Vishnu Lok or Dhruv Lok are completely different from this material world, so a Vishnu temple within this world is also completely different from this material world. As soon as we are in the temple, we should know very well that we are situated differently from the material world. In the temple, Lord Vishnu, his throne, his room, and all other things associated with the temple are transcendental. The three modes, Sattva Gun, Rajo Gun, and Tamo Gun, have no entrance into the temple. But to live in the temple means to live in Vaikuntha Lok. Everything in the temple is as worshipable as the Lord Vishnu or Krishna.
So where are we staying?
Vishnu Lok.
Yeah, we are
Vaikuntha.
staying in Vishnu Lok, Vaikuntha Lok. And everything here is worshipable. The table, the chair, all the things that we are using is worshipable. So when we are very properly respectful towards all these paraphernalia of the Lord, then we can actually experience the divinity that we are surrounded by. And we also become very divinely, our consciousness becomes very divine by dealing with these divine items, transcendental items with proper respect. We should actually, we should not take Vaishnavas as ordinary. We should not take these objects as ordinary. We should always remember that we are sitting in Radha Vrindavan Chandra's divine abode, transcendental abode ki jai. So now we are at verse 30 and we have 23 more verses to go, 30 to 52. So we'll take that tomorrow between 11 to 12 noon. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So the 5 stages of Vedic knowledge I sent you on the chat. You can download if you want. कोई कुछ बोल रहा था?
Prabhuji,
हाँ?
tomorrow 12 to 1 is not possible.
Oh, it's not possible. अच्छा.
No, 12 to 1 is it possible? 12
अच्छा,
to 1
12 to
for
1 is it
all
possible?
devotees?
What about others?
All
बताओ.
devotees.
Possible?
Yes, online
Thank you.
everyone is okay.
Okay. 12 to 1 is possible, bro.
Thank you. Means I may get late tomorrow also.
Yes, no
That's
problem. I am extending like anything.
Thank you.
Extending like anything means
No, means
I am
just I'm checking possibility.
prolonging the things like anything. So you were kind enough to accept this. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much, Guruji, for extending for us.
Hare Krishna.
Hmm.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you.
Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Agreed.
अरे कल याद दिलाना कहूंगा पॉइंट. तो आइडियल हीरो बोल रहा हूँ. आइडियल हीरो का एक लेक्चर है प्रभुपाद महाराज का. उसमें वो जो आपने पूछा था ना, व्हाई डिड ही ब्लेम डेमिगॉड्स?
Yes, yes, ma'am.